Good morning, everybody. What is good? Welcome to Kraken's Garage. I'm Eric, I'm your host. Let's get started. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Kraken's Garage. Today we're going to try and finish up the CRF250 rally and do some other maintenance items on it, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on it and share some footage at the end so we can wrap up that one and move on to the next project. As of this moment, I have 62 subscribers. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. I love you all very much. Thank you so much. That's amazing in, what, 3-4 days? So we're off to a great start. I need to get to 1,000 subscribers to start monetizing a video, and heck, we're almost a tenth of the way there. So that's a good start in the first week. Moving forward, we're going to cover something new and exciting. I have a giant box sitting over on the lift that I'm going to cover, and I'll unveil on the next episode. So that's going to be my teaser for the next episode. Thank you for watching. Let's get to it. Okay, let's torque this down to the proper settings at 18 foot-pounds. Make sure that our torque wrench is set appropriately. When I see the green light, that means this one has a light. When I see the green light on my hand and hear the tone, then I know I'm at the proper setting. Doesn't take much to cinch these down. Ooh-wee, is it hot out here. Okay, time to put the oil back in the case. Don't forget that. Many people do, and it's new engine time. So make sure you don't forget. When you replace the actual oil filter, it actually takes a little more oil than just doing a quick oil change and leaving the existing oil filter in. In this case, since we changed out the filter, it's going to take 1.6 US quarts or 1.5 liters. And let's get to it. Now I want to talk a second about the your used oil that's in the drain pan. What I normally do is drain it back out into these empty oil bottles that I'm using right here. And it makes it easy to transport to your local refuse recycle center. You can just dump it in their oil tank right there and you're good to go. And to measure out the 0.6, I use one of these that has every different measurement known to mankind. And basically do the math and just figure it out, pour it to the correct amount, pour it in, and you're good to go. Okay, got the oil put in. The sight window was full. I'll throw a couple pictures up on the screen. But we put in our 1.6, maybe 1.7 quarts of oil. And I have some leftover remnants in one of the bottles. What I always do is kind of a pro tip is write the date and which bike it goes to and throw it up on the shelf, so when I do the next service I know which quart of oil this bike goes to. Hope that helps you. Next up is the chain adjustment. What we're going to check is the travel on the up and down of how loose the chain is. What the manual says is it shouldn't exceed 2.4 inches. So basically what we're going to measure here is how far the chain dips. About an inch, so we're good to go there. Okay, next up we're going to clean the chain, and something about chains. This is a sealed O-ring chain. What you have to do is, they make chain cleaners and stuff like that. I just use kerosene liberally, and it makes a mess, but it's easy to clean up, and it takes any crud and grime off the chain with ease. Next thing you're going to need is a chain brush, and you need to approach it from the bottom side, and the top side as well, and make several revolutions. What I've done is put it on a stand to get it up off the ground so I can spin the rear wheel safely to service the chain. If you don't have this jack, people have used milk crates and boards on the milk crates, and it's not that heavy a bike. I want to say, I'll put the specs up on the screen, but the weight is right around 346 pounds, I want to say. So you can pick up the rear or get a buddy to help you keep it stable or whatever, and just lift the thing right up on a couple of milk crates, and you can get by on the cheap on getting it fixed. So how often should you oil your chain and what products do I use? I use PJ1. Bel-Ray makes a good one. There's several other manufacturers. You can't really go wrong. Some people prefer some chain lubes over other because it throws less grease all over the wheel and all over your bike and your pants leg and things like that. You should carry a bottle of this with you on the bike and basically oil your chain about every 500 miles. So it's kind of annoying to drive a chain-driven bike. It is what it is, but it's also a very inexpensive drivetrain and helps keep the price affordable on a bike like this. So let's get to cleaning this chain. Then after you've done scrubbed it, get a rag and just run it over the chain and spin the chain around a few times. And she should be good and clean. And she's looking pretty good. Okay, that finishes up the kerosene. Next we're going to oil it. Okay, when you oil it, you want to make sure that you get it on both sides of the chain. And again, spray it on liberally. Don't be bashful. Now most of these are kind of a wax and they congeal when they get exposed to air, so it kind of sticks onto the chain, which is kind of nice. There, that's looking pretty good. Okay, we're gonna hit it from this side so we can get easily get the right-hand side of the chain a little easier. Looking good. Okay, with your rag, mop up some of that mess. We're going to give it a spin and wipe off the excess oil on the chain. If you don't do this, it's going to spray all over your rim, and then when you dirt ride on your trail bike, in this particular case, it kegs on the dirt onto your chain and causes premature wear. So wouldn't really recommend that. Now to clean your rim, after you've just sprayed all kinds of stuff all over it, I get my kerosene, which is an absolute grease cutter, and just give the rim a couple of spins and hit the tire as well, and she'll come out spotless. Perfect. Okay, on to the next step. That's going to wrap it up for the CRF250. I want to share some thoughts with you on it. Some things I like and don't like about it. The kickstand sits way too high, so it tends to want to tip over very easily. That's a major flaw as far as Honda is concerned. So I need to replace the kickstand with a shorter one. It's a very common problem that a lot of people complain about on that bike. And my thoughts on it, I don't think you need 1200 cc's to go off-roading on an ADV bike. I think the CRF250 is a heck of a value for the money. Why did I buy the 2018? Because it was a leftover with a $1,000 rebate, which brought it down to, I want to say I paid $4,400 for it out the door. So there's deals to be had on leftover bikes out there. It all comes down to what dealer you shop at and what fees they charge. So if you're willing to drive a little, you can save a lot of money. Be sure to check that out. Now, the fuel mileage, I'm getting about 70 miles to the gallon. She'll hold 70, 75. If I'm going uphill in a wind, it'll drop down to 65. Could stand a slight drop in one tooth on the sprockets to give you a little more giddy up. Other than that, it's an outstanding bike. The 250 platform's been around for decades. Bulletproof drivetrain. Easy, cheap to maintain, and it's a good looking bike. It'll take you a long ways for a very short dollar. So if you want to save some money and not feel like you have to invest $20,000, $30,000 into an ADV bike, this will get the job done just fine. And for bonus points, it's light enough to where you can pick it up, because when you off-road, you're gonna dump it, and picking it up is just part of the problem, so, or part of the scene, so to speak. So I highly recommend, honestly, 2 thumbs up from Kraken on this one. This is a great bike for the money. Strongly recommend you go test drive one. If you're here in Virginia, hit me up with a private message. You're welcome to come by and try mine if you're interested. So keep that in mind. When I have leftover parts, I always throw them in sandwich baggies or snack baggies and write on them with a Sharpie. And what this does is I just throw it in my toolbox, and a year from now when I go to reach in that toolbox or screw box of extra parts and things like that, I know exactly what bike it goes to. Definitely helps me out in the long run. May help you out. Hope it helps you out. What's that? What are you doing in my garage? What? Get out of my garage! I forgot to tell you guys, my Kraken's Garage is haunted, and I get ghosts every so often that pop in. That would be Bourbon, the dog ghost, that says subscribe. With that said, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Thank you for watching. What's in the box? Tune into Kraken's Garage for the next episode to find out.
Woohoo! And remember, folks, go run because it's good for ya!